All right, cool. Okay, so let me get you to where we are then. It is, for your characters, a dark and stormy night in the streets of Chicago in 1929.
Okay.
It's near the end of October. It's getting cold out, and this rain is half freezing, it seems like. You hear some of the traffic going by out on the street as you make your way up along the waterfront to one of the newer large buildings that has been built here along the waterfront in the last few years, the Field Natural History Museum. The both of you have been invited to a gala here at the Field Museum. It seems that they're opening a new display, and you each have been invited by your friend, Paul Martin, who is a fairly newly hired anthropologist here at the Field Museum. Walking up to the front, you see, as you finally get to the Field Museum, a fairly grand-looking columned portico going up about 3 stories in this kind of neoclassical style. And you see, even with the rain coming down, these people dressed to the nines in gowns and tuxedos walking up the stairs and into the main hall. The two of you, having come from different directions, don't necessarily catch each other's eye at first, as you don't know each other. But as you make your way into the hall, you see a large 3-story tall expanse of a hall that's probably a half an acre in size itself, with a polished limestone floor that looks to have little bits of fossils in it in places, and a couple tiers of balconies going up on either side as well as to the back. As you look around, and as one of the servants to the side takes your raincoat and you shake the rain off, happen to look over at each other as you came in at the same time and nod, and are immediately escorted by one of the servers to the same table. In fact, you're sitting fairly near each other at the table. As you sit down, you see a couple other people, a middle-aged woman who seems to be a little less dressy than the rest of the people you're seeing around, as well as a middle-aged man who neither of you recognize.
Do we know
some champagne? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Do we know what the exhibit is?
It is a surprise, actually. It is a big gala that's being put on for the surprise reveal of an exhibit. It's been rumored a couple different things. Some people are saying that it's something out of Montana, that it's a new fossil discovery. Other people are saying that it's something out of darkest Africa. There's really been a lot going around. The Field Museum has been around for about 2 decades now, and they've become one of the preeminent museums in the United States at this point. So you never know what they might be coming up with. You do know that your friend Paul has been hired within the last 6 months to be on the anthropology staff here at the museum. But as you sit down, you're handed some champagne, and
Noodles, I didn't know you were here.
What would you like to do?
Are there like people going around with like appetizers and everything, like hors d'oeuvres?
At the moment, it seems like they're only serving drinks. There's a little bit of bread in the middle of the table with some soft butter, but nobody has appetizers yet. It seems that they're going to be serving a course meal eventually.
Howard Phillips, very smart, but also very dedicated to his studies, often just forgets that he does need to eat and drink, and also spends most of his money on, tickets to see if he can get to this gravesite or into this museum. So he is just downing as much free food and drink as he can, not really caring if he's violating social decorum as he does it.
Okay. And what about Xander?
Before any of this happens, we don't really know each other yet, so can't really.
You did not. Yeah.
I want to get to know him.
All right. So walking down, sitting at the table near the same time, you see him sitting, kind of immediately reaching for some bread.
Can you describe your dude to me, appearance, so on?
Howard Phillips is maybe 4'5". He's probably about 180. He has had haircuts before. There's some attempt at a high and tight, but also a beard that he has tried to pull into some kind of shape. He has on they're not bad clothes, but they're not well taken care of. But he will reach his hand out and say, Howard Phillips, freelance researcher.
Okay, I would take your hand and say, Xander Wereherfield, or however you pronounce that. It's a horrid last name. Sounds like mine. Wereherfield? Sure, let's go with that.
Yeah, that works. Yeah.
How does size correspond in this game?
I mean, you're a fairly hefty guy, probably 6'7", 6'8". You're tall and broad and muscle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So you look at the person that you've just taken hands with, and he's just, tall, broad shoulders, very muscled, and almost standard military from that time. I'm a military officer.
Are you in a uniform?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to, when I see that, I'm going to say, were you in France during the war?
Not quite. I was around there, but not quite in France.
I was in France during the war.
That
Not with the army. I was robbing graves.
Okay. I'm not gonna press
The
charges.
lady near you, as you say that, the lady near you kind of looks at you and takes another drink out of her glass and doesn't seem to be very impressed with you.
How did you get invited here?
My friend Paul Martin recently got a position here. We've worked together in the past. He's a good boy. But he extended an invitation, and I'm always curious to see new finds. So,
How convenient. Paul invited me here too.
the same name was Weatherfield. I don't recall him mentioning anybody by that name, but it's neither here nor there.
Okay. Well,
The lady who gave you the look just a minute ago has been listening into your conversation.
he was dropping his rude.
And so it says, you say you. Well, I was here, but you said you were robbing graves. And did you hear about the murders?
Oh, this
Murders
was
here
years
in,
ago.
in
I
the
haven't,
museum lately.
I haven't robbed graves. Haven't
No,
needed
here.
to in quite some time. But no, I haven't.
Well, there's been two strange murders on the grounds of the museum in the last 2 weeks. I don't know how you couldn't have heard of it. Surely you must have, she says, looking over to Xander. You must have heard of this.
I can't say that I have. I've kind of been absorbed in other things.
I'm curious what makes one murder stranger than another one.
Oh my.
No! I thought I left you in the other universe.
Oh, doggies. In any case, as a dog starts barking in the background, and she's kind of, well, you haven't heard. Well, apparently, two different groundskeepers have been found. One, a janitor here inside, and one of the gardeners for the gardens on the outside have been found brutally murdered with part of their sheds beaten in the last 2 weeks. And it was almost not sure they were going to put the gala on, but the director insisted.
Groundskeeping is a very dangerous profession. That's why I've never gone near it.
I mean, I must say, I've never gotten these hands dirty. She holds up her hands, and they're fairly well kept, manicured hands.
There was never any doubt that you did.
Your name is...
Oh, I'm sorry, Danielle. Danielle Stops. I work here part-time. I'm a professor.
Okay.
Professor of what?
Oh, you know, psychology mostly.
It's all poppycock.
Have you ever been psychoanalyzed?
Many times.
I'm
Never
sure.
got my money's worth.
Well, I can't pretend to be an expert, but you know, we'll
Tom,
leave it
your
there. In any
character's
case,
name is...
Mike
Will?
Howard Phillips.
Howard. Okay, I would like to turn to you and be like, oh, because groundskeeping is much more dangerous than grave robbing.
Well, I've never gotten my head beaten in,
Yes.
but here are two that have.
I mean, speaking as a professor, I can say that seems anecdotal at best.
I never said it wasn't. I do.
Oh, all right.
I have to profess that I'm missing whatever makes these murders of note. Men die every day.
Yes, but they were both.
Okay.
They both seem to be bludgeoned to death.
It's a very common way to go. Perhaps they owed money.
At this point, your friend Paul walks up to the table, kind of gesturing grandly, arms open, and says, "My friends, it is so nice of you to actually come. It's good to see you all. It's been years since I saw some of you."
What is my personal relationship with Paul?
So you served with Paul in not quite France.
I was in Germany. I was near France.
And this was just after the war. And then Howard knew Paul a few years ago in the desert Southwest as he was excavating what is now called Mesa Verde. Specifically, several pueblos and kivas in the area.
I'd like to shake Paul's hand as he comes up and pull him close to me and whisper, "Paul, it's good to see you. Have you any money on you? Because there's a book in Chicago. It's the only one I've been able to find. It's called The Strength of a People. Now, I say we leave here. The bookstore I called earlier, they said they'd stay open till 9:30. We go there. We make an offer. It's a one book copy of this book I've ever found, Paul.
Paul looks immediately kind of flustered and says, well, I have a little, and then immediately stops and says, I think it can wait. If it's this rare, I doubt anybody else is looking for it.
This is your evening, Paul. It's your evening.
It's good to see all of you. I assume Xander, you've met Howard, and Xander, you've met Danielle.
Yes, I met the grave robber.
And then you've also met Tom. And he gestures over to the last member of your table here at 5 seats. Who you see is a youngish, like in his maybe late 20s, man with spectacles on. Seems to have tried to dress up, but didn't quite get to the level of what most of you are wearing. A little sloppy hair, a little in need of a cut, and kind of parted over all to one side. And he immediately kind of looks up and says, oh yes, I think Tom Hayes. I'm here from London, and yes, it's nice to meet you all.
London, quite a ways away.
Well, you know, we get it. You get it. You know.
I'd like to lean over and shake Tom's hand and lean in and say, look, do you have any money on you? Because there's a book. It's the only copy of this book I've ever found.
You haven't asked the guy with money yet.
I have a few quid on me, but I don't know that's really going to go very far in here. At this point, Paul cuts in and says, Howard, please.
Sorry.
Just for once, just calm down. We're having a nice night. Drink some champagne. It's free. You are here as my guest. I
have been drinking your free champagne.
Go check out the archives. We can check out the archives here in the library after this.
I would like to pull out my little
In any case, yes.
I would like to pull out a little gold pocket watch that's connected in my pocket and look at it and be like, hey, how long till the new exhibit opens?
Oh yes, it should be in really in a minute now. We're just kind of mingling at the moment, waiting for other people to get here. It should be soon.
Can we mingle faster? Because I
About as you're saying this, the lights in the room dim, and you hear the slight hum as the electricity dims down. And you hear from the end a loud male voice say, hello and welcome to our grand museum. Thank you for coming tonight, and both the donors and respected ladies and gentlemen of Fair City. It is nice to have you all. I'm sure you're all wondering what this gala is about, and I can assure you, you will not be disappointed. He goes on for a few minutes like this, thanking several of the businessmen and politicians in the audience, but finally gets to a little bit of the point, saying, and finally, to get to what you're all here for, may I present to you the Lions of Zavo, the Ghost and the Darkness. And
The Man-Eaters, Paul.
And as he says this, what you had seen up front on what was a hastily erected stage at the end of this large, huge hall.
Where are we in the hall? Are we towards the back or the front?
So your table is towards the back, not all the way in the back, on the left side, and is the two of you specifically are actually facing the stage with your backs towards the entrance, which especially to Xander feels a little weird having your back to an entrance like that, as you are trained never to have your back into an entrance. But you see this section next to the podium where this gentleman had been speaking. This large, heavy curtain starts to kind of part, and you see a diorama set up of two large stuffed tigers without manes, and next to them lions, and next to them two large tiger skulls.
Lion skulls?
Lion skulls, yes. They're lions, not tigers. I misspoke for a second.
Lions, tigers, and bears are mine.
You both know, of course, having heard the news over the course of the last few years, that the Field Museum had acquired the skins and skulls of the man-eaters of Tsavo, which was a famous story out of Central Africa, where two man-eating tigers had supposedly killed more than 130-something workers on the British Railroad there. Finally have been killed by a lieutenant colonel in the British Army, and then sold to the Field Museum. And they have. It seems they are now going to be displaying them. There's a great Val Kilmer movie about this, by the way.
There is.
And by great, I mean almost entirely inaccurate, but pretty good.
There's a what?
There's a great Val Kilmer movie about this. I love some Val Kilmer. This is me talking. In any case, seeing this, these are the first things you see. However, quickly you hear some gasps from the front of the room as you see on the ground and on the kind of tableau that's presented to you in front of these two lions, a human body with, it seems, blood splattered all over. And
sorry.
No, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was just going to lean in to Miss Danielle and say, it's probably another groundskeeper.
She kind of giggles a little bit at you and then looks back up front. Although as you hear gasps and you see the speaker who was up front kind of look over and look aghast at it, and a murmuring start from the front, you realize that this is not part of the display.
I would like, before anybody else can get up and rush forward, I want to go immediately up there so that I don't have to go through the crowd or whatever to see exactly what happened.
Okay. Let me see something here. You have a movement rate of about 8. Yeah, so you're pretty fast. Could you... Let me see something. So going up to the front, you find that some of the security has already started to kind of swarm around, but... excuse me. Could you make a quick... Oh, what I'm going to have you do? Yeah, let's do this. Intimidation check.
And that
So roll your D100 and your D10.
43, and I need to get under a 30.
That is correct. All right. So as you walk up to the front and kind of pushing your way through, like, let me up here. The security forces kind of hold you back in their fairly shabby suits, but you can see they're all armed with a revolver on their hip, and they've kind of linked arms, and they kind of shoulder you back as you try to get through. As somebody has rushed up onto the stage, and they're kind of checking the body.
Can I make an effort to sneakily snatch one of the revolvers without them noticing? Because, actually, no. We might die if that goes horribly wrong. Well, we wouldn't
Your sleight
die.
of hand is 10, so.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking. How about no? Okay.
All right, so what would you like to do? As the crowd is kind of murmuring around you and the murmur grows around you slowly into this dull, almost roar as people start yelling for what's happening.
I'm going to link one arm with Paul, grab a full bottle of champagne in a glass, and start moving to the front, saying, "No, museum employee, make way, make way."
I would like to grab onto them and
Good idea.
with them once they go past me.
As they make their way to the front, you grab onto the other side of Paul, and as he's kind of confusedly looking between the two of you, he smiles kind of unsurely at the security who do recognize him and allow you through next to the stage.
Thanks, Paul. Go. I'd like to kind of.
He nods and says, yes, okay.
I'm going to lean in and say, "You are right, Paul. This is much more interesting."
All right, coming up to the stage, you both see what looks like a well-dressed gentleman in a tuxedo with long tails, a white bow tie, and it seems they're face up with blood draining out from behind their head, the back of their head, which is against the ground.
I'm going to immediately call out, "Danielle, my mistake, not a groundskeeper."
I would like to flip him over. Like walk up to him and flip him over to see what's going on the back of his head.
Okay. Give me a second here. I need something else here. All right. So walking up there, since you've been allowed past the security, there is another gentleman currently kind of with his fountain pen kind of lifting carefully up things of clothing and things to kind of try to peek over. And as you come up, you immediately just flip the whole body over. And
very impressive.
He's like, well, what? He's just very flustered. And the body kind of slumps over onto its front side.
Is it like a puncture wound, a slashing, bludgeon?
So you see... Sorry about this. 1 second. You see a large, good-sized, like fist-sized, gaping wound right where the head meets the neck.
Okay.
And it looks like a large amount of something has been gouged out, just right below where the skull meets the neck there. Possibly part of the brain part, possibly part of the spine, sure.
So they took out his brain.
Well, it looks like they ripped something out of the back of his brain, yes.
Okay.
The lower part.
I'm going to ask Paul 2 things. Paul, you were in charge of the guest list. Do you know the man?
All right. Looking over, Paul, who has been kind of pulled along with you, is white in the face, having never really dealt with this freshly dead body. Usually they're a few hundred years dead by the time he's touching them. And says, yes, I do recognize this is Dr. Falkenhayn.
Aria.
Dr. Falkenhayn has been in the city for a while now. I'm not rightly sure why he is here right now. Oh my gosh, I know him. And she's kind of panicked.
Would I have known him?
Good question. Let me see. There we go. You have known him. There you are. You vaguely recognize the name.
Okay, so I don't know what he studies or anything?
You don't know what he studies, but
Hey, Dad.
You vaguely recognize the name from just talk you've heard around town.
Okay. Paul, were you there for the corpses? Did their back of the heads look like this?
I mean, yes, they're all bludgeoned like this, and it's just terrible. I'm not sure what to tell you.
I'm going to take the end of my cane and put it at the hole, and I say, "Is this part new?"
I can't say. He kind of panics a little bit.
I'll pour him a glass of champagne and put it in his
at
hand.
Which point, which he gratefully takes from you and downs immediately. At which point,
Good boy.
A rather mediocrely dressed gentleman with a pistol in hand comes up through security and says, "All right, name's Arms. I'm here because I'm the only one in the building. The Chicago police. What seems to be going on?" And just looks kind of panicked and not sure what is happening.
I see the quality of your fine institution has not gone down. There's been a murder. This man has been dead. Something has been removed from his corpse. Judging from the locality of the wound, I'm assuming it was brain-related.
Oh, are you an expert on these things then?
Yes, he has committed many murders.
I'm an expert on many things, including looking down at what's at my feet.
That's interesting. And as he says this, the lights seem to go out in the room suddenly. As the electric lamps above in the chandeliers that were hanging from this massive gallery that you're all seated in and standing in now, just suddenly fizzle out, and you hear this kind of lowering whine into nothingness as everybody in the room starts to murmur and panic once again.
Is it pitch black, or can we slightly see things?
I mean, at first it's pitch black in here. There were only electric lights in here. After about 30 seconds, through the windows in the second floor that's during the day spills some sunlight into here, as well as there are skylights in here, you start to see a little bit of the glow of the city around you. I mean, this is 1920 Chicago, not 2020 Chicago.
So it's not super bright.
So there's not as much as there would have been. It's not super bright, but there is a little bit of just diffused light that, because it is raining out and the clouds are reflecting some of it, a little bit of diffused light that comes in, and you start to see the outline of you as people start to scramble around. You also hear a loud thunk of a door opening somewhere off to what would have been, I guess, the east, which is to your right as you're facing the stage.
I would like to turn to Paul and ask him where that door goes.
Well, you can't see any door open at this point. You just hear a door open. This is a large hall here.
I would like to ask him which.
Several hundred people comfortably.
I'd like to ask him which doors are in that direction.
Okay. Paul, having just drained an entire glass of champagne on top of what he had already drank, and being kind of freaked out at the moment, says, I don't. There's some of the native exhibits and the upstairs. There's the dinosaur exhibits. I'm not sure.
Interesting.
If it is dark enough, I would like to kneel down real quick and try to go into just kind of search the man's pockets and see what all he's carrying.
She's got a harmonica. I got dibs. It's an odd thing, but still got dibs.
Okay, go ahead. Let's see here.
Or bagpipes. Bagpipes are a big part.
It's true.
Not
Go ahead
often
and
found in
roll
pockets.
Go ahead and roll
They're
a
small.
spot hidden check.
Yeah, I didn't.
Can I also do that?
You didn't get it.
Wait, I rolled. I'm looking at the wrong thing. No, I still didn't get it.
What did you roll?
I rolled a 65.
65. What is your spot hidden? Oh yeah,
25.
It's like 25.
Can I also
So you don't
do
get it. If you'd like to look real quick, yeah, go for it.
I need a harmonica. I don't know why. 16. That makes it.
That does make it. In fact, that even makes the hard challenge. So, I mean, bending down, looking in, you find a pocket watch just on cursory inspection. You find a small piece of stone, and you find a wallet.
I would like to take all three of those things because some of them might come in handy later. And also, what's in the wallet? I'm just curious.
If you find $30 in U.S. bills.
That's convenient. Is there anything else?
It looks like a small folded piece of paper.
I would like to take the $30 in the small folded piece of paper and see what the small folded piece of paper is, if I can.
Okay. As you take these things and start to tuck them in and start to open up the paper, the lights in the room come back on.
Well, this is awkward. I already have the things in my pocket. I just have the piece of paper, right?
You just have the piece of paper on you at the moment, yes.
So I can just play it off and be like, hey, I found this in his pocket.
Yes.
Okay.
As you're looking around, kind of wildly as the lights come back on, you see everybody else kind of panicking, and you see an open door on the east side of the hall here, which had not been opened before. And stumbling out of it, you see a figure in a fairly nice cocktail dress. She seems to be stumbling around. Her face seems kind of swollen and very red. And she just has this panicked look on her face as she seems to be trying to speak but can't get any words out.
I'm going to grab the policeman by the shoulder as I start over to her and say, if we get there quick enough, you'll be able to get to this murder before it happens. I don't know why, but I feel...
I would like to continue to see what that piece of paper is.
Okay, so seeing what the piece of paper is, you see that it looks like a manifest of some type. It seems to. It starts with crate 1 and then says it has several kind of indecipherable numbers and kind of shorthand that you're not quite able to decipher at first.
What language
And
is
it
it
says
in?
crate 2, and then it says the same kind of thing. It seems to be a manifest of a shipping manifest.
Okay. I would like to walk over and give that to my friend or my new friend that speaks that. It's not a different language, but knows that.
To
Howard? Is that his
I,
name?
don't- I mean,
Yeah.
he might know that.
Yes.
You're not
I would
sure,
just
but
like
as
to hand it to him and be like, hey, found this in the pocket.
Howard is currently walking over with the policeman over to this stumbling woman, who, as you get close, it seems is getting more and more panicked, and her face is turning redder and redder, and almost seems to be her neck and face seem to be puffing almost as she falls to her knees on the floor.
Would you buy a listen roll to see if I can tell if she's like gasping for air or like choking?
Yeah, I think so.
It doesn't give me anywhere.
Okay. That is the problem about.
I just lean in and like look at her. Yeah.
Are you choking?
I rolled an 80.
An 80. Oh, for 50. Yeah. I mean, you can hear what everybody else can hear is this kind of wheezing, like that. And as you kind of lean in, as she's kind of bent down, the back of her cocktail dress and back of her skin seems to erupt, splattering blood all over everybody nearby as you're leaning in. And something seems to come out of her. As you rear back, you see whatever it is seems to be mostly grayish black in coloration, a little bit smaller than a human. 4 limbs poke out of it, and large teeth seem to be kind of just gnashing out of it randomly as it's kind of stumbling around trying to find its footing.
I would like to do 3 things. Thing 1, take a very large drink. Thing 2, I'm going to turn to the policeman and say, shoot it. And thing 3 is, could I make an occult roll to see if I recognize this?
Yeah, go ahead and make an occult roll.
Do I have to do anything with the policeman?
No, you can just say that, I think.
While he's recognizing that, Xander is not he's not a very magic-y, believe-y person. He doesn't believe well, he obviously saw it, but he does not like that. So he doesn't really want to know what it is. So I'm just going to grab the gun from the policeman and unload at it.
I rolled
You're
an
going to grab the
18.
gun from the policeman. What'd you get on your roll?
18.
18 for occult.
Yeah, and I have
What is-
65.
You have 60. Okay, so looking at it, I mean, it seems like any number of things you've heard of. Several Central and South American folklore tales, as well as Central and South African folklore tales. It could be any one of these. You're not exactly sure what this is.
So while he's trying to figure that out, do I kill it?
So the thing is, at the same time that you were trying to reach for the gun from the policeman was trying to draw the gun and shoot it. Could you make a strength check?
Okay, so
So
Do I have
roll
to get
your-
it under 45?
What you were going to do, it's going to be contested because he's trying to draw it at the same time.
Oh,
So
so
you just need to roll.
50.
And he rolls a 75. So as he's going to draw it, you reach over into the holster, draw it out, and go ahead and make a firearms roll for a handgun.
Handgun. Okay. 69. I make it. Because I have to
Do
get.
make that. So let me look up something real quick.
And then once it's dead, you
Here
can examine the
is-
body if there's anything left.
That's good.
Because I plan on
All right.
dismissing
So
it
handgun,
from the universe.
Roll your D10 and tell me what you get.
D10. 3. Oh, that was great.
3.
Yes.
Okay. As you grab the pistol and discharge it, it hits it dead center, and it seems to kind of stagger back a little bit as it was trying to gain its footing anyway. But it is still up.
Can I shoot it again?
Not on this turn, you can't.
Do something.
What? As you do this.
Wait, it has teeth, right?
Oh, it very much has very big teeth. And as you do this, it actually jumps at the policeman who you just disarmed, and bites at him.
And the teeth are just in his mouth, right?
It seems like it. That's all you can see right
Well,
now.
if they weren't in his mouth, they wouldn't be called teeth. They would probably be called spikes or claws. But
Yeah. As he does, yeah, he bites out at the policeman, grabbing onto the left arm of the policeman and kind of tearing a chunk of flesh off. Right. Howard, what do you want to do?
The woman is quite dead.
yes,
Oh, she's exploded. Yeah, she's very dead.
like chest bursters, but from the back of her head.
From the
Ah.
Yes, exactly. Thank you for getting that.
I will regretfully look at the bottle of champagne, take one more swig, and then try to bottle the creature with it.
Shove it in the bottle.
No, like
Oh,
break the bottle over it.
okay. Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Go ahead and roll. Go ahead and roll it, your D100 and D10. Because this is we're going to call this a small club.
Ooh,
What'd you get?
I got a 27.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, you are able to hit it easy enough. Roll a D8 for damage.
Where is my dice? 8.
8. Okay. And as you come across with the champagne bottle, which is fairly heavily built champagne bottle, you whack it, and what you think might be around the head, it seems like the mouth is just in the body somewhere. But as you do, it shudders and kind of flops over, twitching on the ground. and
Step
then
on it.
Still.
You said it's still
You're
alive?
gonna step on it?
No, I am not going to step on it.
It seems to be twitching and it twitched for a moment and then it's lying still. It seems to be out of commission.
Just to make sure, just to like double tap, I just want to shoot it like directly in the mouth, just like through the where the mouth is.
Yeah, go ahead and make another firearms roll for a handgun.
Don't shoot myself. 65.
65. All right, that'll do it. Roll a d6.
6? Okay.
All right. I mean, it didn't matter. It's dead. But
Oh, well.
I just wanted to see. As you shoot it again, the body kind of jumps a little bit as the bullet makes an impact, but it doesn't move any more than
Okay,
that.
great. It's just making sure.
As you shoot it again, though, the police officer clutching his left arm reaches out with his right arm and grabs his pistol back and says, "What do you think you're doing?"
Killing it. Something that you weren't.
I could have done that. Oh my god.
Yes, but I did it
Jeez.
faster.
Officer, there's
All right.
no sense in pointing fingers at this. Are there any more guns on the premises? Also, we will need champagne.
Of course we will.
You hear your friend Paul come up from behind and says, "There's more champagne over here, I suppose."
Thank you. I'm gonna stick the empty one in my and grab the fresh one.
Can I ask the policeman if he can commandeer one of the guns from one of the security guards so I don't have to steal his again?
None of the security guards, as you asked this, none of the security guards seem to have guns, actually.
Did they have like billy clubs or anything?
Didn't they have them at the beginning though?
They did not have guns at the beginning, though.
Oh. Well, who was I trying to pickpocket from? The revolver or whatever it was.
From the cop.
That was from
I
the
think that was
cop.
from the police officer, too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Does the woman have a purse or anything?
You talking about Danielle?
No, the corpse exploded woman.
There is a purse laying.
Oh, I have 30 extra bucks, so I have $90 now.
Yeah, I'm gonna just open it. At this point, I don't care who's looking, and just kind of look through it to see if I'm looking at identification before the anything.
Okay.
I'm not the most ethical.
Could you make a? Oh gosh, where is it? I know what I was doing here. Where is this? Oh, no. Mm-hmm. Yeah, make a spot hidden check.
$85 again.
I would like to do the same.
85.
How do you open these things?
I mean, you kind of just digging your hand in and rummaging around. You find a wallet. You find a small perfume vial, and a small powder. What's the word I'm looking for? I can't remember. Anyway,
Does she have a harmonica?
no harmonica.
I'm really rooting for this.
I mean,
It's not really important,
it's not the crowd you'd be expecting a harmonica in.
I'm going to continue looking.
All right.
Are you gonna take the wallet, or can I just kind of? Is that's something you need? Or you're on mute.
I don't particularly need it in front of a police officer. Paul, what do you know about this shipping manifest? The military man handed me, Xander. Does this have anything to do with the
yes.
this exhibit?
It looks like something that was put out by some of our shipping staff. It was recently a shipment that came in from somewhere in South America, somewhere deep in the Amazon.
Amazonian
An odd
body
shipment.
busters.
It was, rather than being in straw, it seemed to be just packed in leaves of some type of unidentified plant. But it was several icons and figurines made of stone.
Where are they?
The piece
They're
of
back.
stone.
They're back in our research section on the second floor.
I'm going to point to the thing on the body, the corpse that came out of the other corpse, and say, Paul, we've both been to the Amazon. You've seen images of that. We need to examine those icons.
Well, what is that? Can I ask him that? Ask
Yeah.
Howard.
I have no idea what it is. I've never seen anything like this. That's very strange. I mean, I've only spent some time in South America, mostly in Central America, and mostly really in Mexico and the U.S. deserts. But I'm not sure.
Can I
We
ask
need to go to the
Howard what
icons.
that is?
Howard,
what would I be able to tell
Xander
him?
asked you what it is.
What would I be able to tell him based off what I know? What would I tell him off what I know? Just some kind of.
You would think it's some type of parasite.
Okay.
It's a parasite. There's murals. Sometimes they're put in prisoners or political rivals and to demean them. But I mean, I've seen them in South America, in Central America, Paul, and in Africa. But I think we should really check out those icons, whatever came from South America.
Take the wallet from him and just kind of search and see if I find anything that's like cash wise.
Cash wise?
Yes.
Wallet?
Yes.
I mean, looking at the wallet, you find $60.
Sweet. Now I am up to 150.
But immediately, the detective who you stole a gun from previously says, "What are you doing? I mean, you can't just be doing that."
Yes, but she's dead.
Put that back. No, put it back. That's evidence. Put it back.
Evidence of what?
Put it back.
Okay. I would like to put like 40 of it back, but like kind of hide another.
Make a sleight of hand check.
Oh, geez. That's gonna, like, in the butt. I got an 8.
You got an 8?
I got an 8.
Oh my gosh. You're able to do it. All right. That was, your sleight of hand is like 10.
I know.
It's a lot of work for $20, by the way.
I mean, in 1920, $20 is a good amount.
Yeah.
1929, sorry.
Paul, take us to where the icons are, please.
8.
All right.
8.
Kind of nodding to you, he gestures for you to go.
Oops.
The detective follows you.
That's great.
And making your way up the large curving staircase on the back left side of the hall, you go up to the second floor balcony and through one of the locked doors as Paul unlocks it back into the offices and storerooms of the Field Museum. You find him leading you past several of these kind of gated rooms that have these doors on them that are kind of barred. Not necessarily locked, but just barred so that they're separated, but you can still look in. And after passing a few of these, he shows you into one of these, opening the door, which has 2 crates inside, one of which seems to have been burst apart.
Paul,
Bolivian body bursters.
those groundskeepers that were killed, what sort of men were they?
I don't know. They were nice enough. I don't know.
That's not what I mean, Paul.
What do you mean? What sort of men were they?
Eurasian. Are they African? Were they Hispanic? Are they Russian?
I mean, Jerry was Irish, I think.
I think. Speaking about dead like that.
Can I look at
They didn't have any odd accents or anything like that. I'm not sure.
I'm just looking for ties, Paul. Don't. I'm going to pour him another glass and shove it again into his hand.
Which he immediately
And
downs.
I'm going. I'm going to look at the exploded crate and inside of it to see what I see.
Okay. Make a spot hidden check.
That is 13, which beats 25.
It does beat 25. Looking inside, you see several, it looks like branches of a very leafy plant of some type that are kind of scattered about. Some of them look chewed on. And in the midst of these, you see a small idol that looks something like, if it wasn't from South America, you would have sworn it was of a gorilla or something, or some great ape, but has more
You said vile?
reptilian features in the face.
Idol.
Idol.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I use I have my Colt, or that's probably the best. Can I can I do an occult roll and see if I can figure it out? If I can put a name or a place to this.
Okay.
37.
37. Yeah, you do pretty well. So looking at this thing, you see
Found the harmonica.
it rings a bell in some of the occult literature you've heard of coming out of the Amazon. Specifically, a very isolated, and these days nobody's even sure if they are still in existence, tribe called the Cthulhu.
Called the who?
They had in their culture, they had a lizard god who was known as Mabuin.
Who were they called?
Mabuin?
No, the tribe.
Oh, the Cthulhu.
Cthulhu.
The Cthulhu tribe.
Well, only one place to go. Looks like we're going to South America.
I'm just going to
as far
start
as-
rattling this off.
How much are
as
tickets? Because I have $110 just sitting around in my pocket. Not
And
other
as far as anybody knows from what you know, they don't. This tribe doesn't exist anymore. They were wiped out of existence.
As far as people know.
But there was a lizard god who supposedly protected them.
Could I continue my cult to see if I can remember how he protected them?
Yeah. Roll another check.
You put body bursters in their enemies. Bet you I can
That is a 4.
A 4.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh. So with a 4, you remember suddenly a lot. Supposedly, according to legend, in each generation, a male would be chosen out of the tribe and given to the lizard god, at which point they would be made over into a new lizard god, a new avatar of the lizard god, and that they would be imbued with a new form and speed and strength and even intelligence, and able to defend the tribe, this isolated tribe, from outsiders.
So no body bursters. That's disappointing.
Well, nothing in the vague legends talked about that. No.
Okay. So that's
So, Paul, we have a tribe that nobody thinks has survived, and now they're mailing the Fields Museum their most precious iconography.
Well, no, this is a part of
Where did you get this?
Professor Whitehall's expedition.
And that's why he's
Where
dead.
is he?
What was that? I'm sorry.
Is he here tonight?
Well, he's down somewhere in the Amazon still, as far as I know. He's been sending things as he goes.
I'm gonna start trying to open the other crate.
Seven.
Do I need to do anything?
Yeah, to open the other crate, make a quick strength check. Well, not strength check. Yeah, let's do a strength check. Straight up.
8.
Can anybody help me open this?
I got an 8.
I guess he can help you open it. The two of you open it, kind of prying things together, are able to open the second crate, finding even more of this strange plant. The leaves are odd. They have 4 points on them each time, and there's a lot of leaves on each branch.
Can we force feed it to Paul?
Kind of
Is
has
that
this
considered
odd,
a
almost bready scent, like fresh baked bread as you open it. Did you say you wanted to feed it to Paul?
Well,
I don't know that would be very nice of you.
well, if Paul...
I'm going to turn to him and say, Paul is my friend. If you try that, I will hit you with a bottle.
Well, if Paul's already all champagned up, he wouldn't... Like, would
What
you
do
really notice? It's like, hey, Paul, have some popcorn or Cheetos or whatever you want.
What else do I see in the crate?
Yeah, let's go with his idea.
Yeah. All right. In this crate, you see nearly nothing. Digging for a minute, you eventually come near the bottom to a small, battered, leather-bound journal.
Yeah, I take the journal. And I start to read it, I guess.
Okay. Looking into it, it looks like immediately you see this is the journal of Professor Whitehall. Just kind of skimming over it, you see his arrival on the coast at the mouth of the Amazon, his journey upwards, looking into various legends and known tribes along the way, and eventually getting into the high Amazon, hacking their way through. His expedition managed to find their way to a sorry about this. I need to find my notes.
I was on the screen.
Yes, they managed to find their way to a isolated, what the locals called a tepui, which is a high mesa rising out of the jungle, several of which are in some of the highlands of the Amazon jungle, isolated from everything else, where they found some ruins and some people still living who they thought might be part of the Cthulhu tribe.
Did they
Eventually,
ask?
it seemed, well, eventually, trying to communicate with them, it seemed that they were, and there's some small writings near the end about something hunting them. And after that, nothing.
All right.
Does the journal go to the last page?
Oh, I mean, it isn't. There's many blank pages afterwards. Like it's more than half full, but it wasn't completed.
Which means that they got eaten.
What's the last date where he mentions, like the last entry where he's like, we're being followed?
The last entry you see is February 26th, 1929.
And today is.
Well,
Today is the 28th of October.
what is the
1929.
date on the shipping manifest?
On the shipping manifest, you see there is a date of August 17th.
And that's when they were received?
And that was when it was received in New Orleans.
When does it say when it was sent out?
It says it was sent out from Brazil in late July. It's the 26th.
I'm going to show Paul the journal entry and the shipping manifest and say, the revered Professor Whitehall is dead. He did not send this to you. We need to burn these. I'm going to try to start shepherding people out of the room, and I'm going to pull some matches from my little handbag. I imagine that I have the old-timey doctor's bag.
Okay.
I have one of those. I'm going to start pouring champagne over the crates. Everybody out of the room. I'm going to burn this.
Okay.
Did everybody leave?
What is that?
What's that? So the
Hold on, y'all. I'll be right back. Y'all can keep going. Fill me in.
so Paul really kind of nods, grabbing a little bit of what was you were spilling out of the champagne in your glass and down in that as he heads out of the room. The detective, the detective looks at you kind of suspiciously, but kind of backs out of the room just on the other edge of the doorway and crossing his arms, holding his left arm, which is still pretty mangled, and it just watches you.
Okay, what happened when I was in here?
Everybody's kind of backing out of the room slowly as Howard is getting ready to burn this stuff.
Can they see into the room?
They can.
Okay. I'm going to put my bag down in front of me, my back to them, and I'm going to try to put at least one of the icons in my bag before I light the fire.
You can make a sleight of hand check.
Always comes back to that.
It does. It's a really common one. What's up, Heath?
The small piece of stone that I found on the other dude's body, does that match up to any of the little idols?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, on the woman's body. No, was it? It was a dude. Yeah.
It was the first guy.
Yeah, the first guy that died. That's right. Make a quick history check.
History. That is that.
Oh, you have a really bad history. Yeah.
Yeah, my history is not quite that great.
You know what? I mean, you would recognize it. It looks vaguely like the same type of stone.
Can I roll? I haven't rolled yet.
Yeah, go ahead and roll.
Oh, that's a 79. That does not make
Yeah, so it looks like it could be the same type of stone, you know.
Okay. So it's the same one.
So bring out your matches. Yeah. So Howard, bring out your matches. You're lighting this room on fire.
No, I'm just the crates. I'm trying to seem like I'm, muttering some kind of cleansing spell or something while I'm trying to shuffle these icons into my bag.
Okay.
I'll be out in a minute.
Okay. And what did you roll on your sleight of hand? You failed, right?
I did.
Okay. Just a second then. Ooh. All right, so as you're backing out and getting ready to light things, the detective catches you by the arm and says, I'm going to have a talk with you after this.
About what?
And as you say this, there's a whoosh as the crates in the room light up. And you hear a sudden rushing noise from up the hallway. You realize suddenly the detective is no longer holding onto your arm
He is gone.
and seems to have disappeared into the darkness of the hallway. And you hear a small startled yelp that's quickly cut off. What's that?
Talk to me after this. I hope you've learned your lesson.
What are the both of you doing? You are stuck. You are now, the two of you, along with Paul, in this dark hallway, only illuminated by the flames that are springing up in the foliage of these crates that have been broken open.
Paul, exit. Where?
I mean, back the way we came in. And as he says this,
No good.
there is a roar, and a shadowy, large figure comes out of the hallway and jumps on him as he's speaking.
Oh, that's great.
You see something that looks like it could be a large great ape.
Like a large thing that we killed earlier?
Actual, off of all fours. Not quite. This one definitely has an actual head. It doesn't have the same teeth, and seems to be something like a large, very large orangutan or something like that. But
which
hairless.
arm got mauled on the police officer?
The left arm.
And he is what-handed?
He's right-handed.
I still
He's also gone.
Oh, he's in the hallway. He's dead.
He got dragged into the hallway just a second ago. But as this thing comes at you, it seems like almost this reptilian scaled skin, but this form of a great ape. Its eyes, as they come into the firelight, you see are this milky white color as they kind of shine as they look back and forth between the two of you.
Would it be a horrible idea to punch it? Would that result in my demise?
You
can I
do
do something
anything
before he does that?
What are you going to do?
I'm going to sigh and pull the icons out of my bag.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if an occult roll would aid me, but, I'm going to hold them out before him and say, Lewin, these were taken wrongfully from your home. We seek only to return them. And I'm going to lay them down before him. I'm going to hate myself for doing it because it's, cool stuff that I'm giving up, but
you do want to live.
As you do this, the head jerks over towards you and focuses in on the icons as you're laying it down. Its hands come out and grasp them in its left hand, and it looks at it as it looks up at you, and then looks in at the fire. And as you see its right hand come up, it has some of that same foliage you had seen, and it takes a bite out of it. And then it lunges at you.
Great job. You got rid of the stuff for no reason.
So lunging at you.
I'm guessing you're wanting a dodge.
Yeah, roll a dodge.
Nope.
What'd you get?
I got a 65.
Oh,
Over-
yes, yes. What is your dodge? I didn't even look.
I got my dodge is 22. It's
Yeah. Yeah. And they rolled a 9. Second. And that is you take 10 hit points of damage.
Are you still alive?
on 1 hit point.
You had 11?
You
Yes.
have a major wound, and you now have a major wound.
Okay. Can I try to like drag myself back into the room and like? You said he's got reptilian skill. Does he have any fur?
There seems to be no fur on him, and it's reptilian scale kind of skin. It's fairly smooth, and it even seems to glisten a little bit in the firelight that's behind you from the room.
Yeah, I want to just drag myself into the room and grab any chunk of flaming wood and just I tried it the right way and just fling it at him.
Okay. Any piece of charred wood or flaming wood you're throwing?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and make I don't know, what do we call this? Make a flaming wood attack. Go ahead, roll
roll my
for an attack,
occult,
and we'll
right?
figure this out. Your occult?
Hold on. That's an 80. So I succeed. Right?
You rolled a what?
I rolled an 80.
An 80? You did not succeed on anything, I don't think.
No, I didn't think so.
Yeah, that is the thing about this. So as you kind of throw it, it sails off to its right side. Xander, what are you doing right now? As
I
this
wanna
thing
punch
seems to
the
have
monkey.
just slashed across. You're gonna punch the
Yeah,
You
I want to
have
punch
a
the
monkey.
monkey.
Okay.
gun.
I don't have the gun.
He doesn't have the gun. The detective took it back.
If I would have had the gun, I would have unloaded on the monkey, but that's different.
Go ahead and strike out.
Okay, so I have to hit under a 25? Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Well, I got an 8 before. What is it? One of them is only 1. 41. Nope.
Tim, do I have to take an
As-
insanity?
Yeah, I was just thinking about that actually. Go ahead and roll a d6.
3.
3. All right. Let me find my table here. All right, and you lose 6 sanity.
Okay.
Me?
As you try to punch it, Xander.
Yes.
Yes. As you try to punch it, it comes across, and it's going to try to hit at you. So, if you could roll a dodge check.
That means under a 45. 93.
That is
Nope.
not under 45. So, and you take, as it comes across with its claw, you take 8 points of damage.
Okay, so I'm at 2.
And you are also major. You also have a major wound.
Okay.
All right. So you're both kind of limping in this hallway at this point. As it's been slashing around, you saw that the idols dropped to the floor in front of you.
I'm gonna just scoop them up
Mm-hmm.
and then in either a stroke of brilliance or stupidity, smash them against the floor.
Ooh,
I'm gonna smash them and then get like.
Make a strength check.
No. No.
What? No, what'd you get?
I got a 67.
Ah. All right. As you as you grab them and smash them, both of them against the floor, these two things that you had, it rears back and kind of seems to trying to protect its own face.
Did it break?
They did not break, but the animal, the thing, seems to have been afraid and has reared back.
I would like to rush over and try to do that again, except actually break him this time.
Make a strength check real quick.
Okay.
You're close enough. You could get over there, even being wounded.
47. I'm 2 away.
Oh, at this point, you hear it, and you thought with the might you brought it down with that it would have, but it does not. And as you do this, it reaches out and claws at you once again in fear. Make a dodge check really quick.
Another 45. 41.
All right, as it claws out, you're able to dodge out of the way. Howard, you want to do anything?
Yeah, I still have the one empty bottle tucked into my belt. Can I use that and try to bring that down on the idol, even if it's just one?
Yeah, go for it.
You want me to try to beat?
The idol's stone. You're breaking it with flat.
Well, go ahead and roll a strength check. It'll be it's still against the idol.
Oh yeah.
86.
Okay, but this time, because it's a contested check, they rolled a 92. The idol, I mean. This time, as you bring it down, it cracks, and you hear the thing, just this like soul-rending screech come out of it. You're not even sure. It sounds like it's of this earth.
Do you want me to roll for sanity?
Knocks you back. Yes, please roll a D8 for sanity.
Me too.
Yes, both of you.
7.
5.
Okay.
Parker, don't chew on your foot. Sorry.
You both take that in psychic damage. So
Well,
you lose.
I'm out.
You lose 5 sanity, not damage. Not hit points.
Sanity.
Yeah. So 5 sanity, 7 sanity.
So I am at 45.
All right. As this happens, and in a panic, it swings at you, Howard.
Kill him, not me.
Make a dodge check.
So the idols are not broken, they're just cracked.
Well, the one is. There's 2 of them. You have the other one.
77.
Okay. It connects and does 10 hit points worth of damage to you.
I'm dead.
Oh, okay, this
And
is...
you, because you had a major wound, you go down to 0 hit points, and you are now dying.
Can I save him? How do I do that?
As I fade out, I'm just thinking to myself, we always knew it was going to go like this. You steal from enough tombs, something comes back to bite you.
Can I bring
You
him
could
back?
stabilize him. You could make a check to try to stabilize him, but this thing is still trying to kill you.
By the time I smash both of the other statues, would I still have enough time to save him?
Well, there's only one statue you'd need. I mean, there's only one statue that hasn't been cracked, and that's the one you're holding.
Okay, I would like to slam that against the floor.
Okay, go ahead. Make a strength check.
16.
16. As you bring it down, it smashes into several pieces, and
Okay.
The thing in front of you seems to start convulsing.
Okay, I would like to go over to the other statue, and can I smash that one all the way?
Yeah, go ahead and try.
I just want to make sure this thing can't come back. 66, never mind.
I mean, you try. It's already cracked, but this thing seems to be, it's just kind of convulsing on the floor at this point. A couple times it almost hits you, but it doesn't seem to. And as your new friend Howard seems to be just
now I would
prone on
like
the
to
floor.
save him.
Seems to be. Okay, if you're going to save him, oh gosh, I got to remember how to do this.
It's okay if he can't. He'll just die.
That's nice. Make a first aid
I
check.
think I'm almost done now. First aid. Hold on. I have to go and look at
First aid.
these. Look at these. First
I believe you have a
aid.
30
What?
for the first aid.
A little bit. Not well. I think we're okay. Okay, I gotta get under a 39. 58. That ain't it.
That ain't it. As you try to save him, the blood is pumping still out of the gash on his chest, slower and slower as you're trying to stem the flow. And as the light fades from his eyes, the blood stops flowing. And you're left there with the flames behind you. The creature has stopped thrashing on the ground and seems to be still. And you're just left with the sound of flames, the distant sound of panicked crowds trying to flee the scene.
Okay.
And that's where we're going to end.
How many could we have killed that thing if we didn't use the idols?
I mean, you might have been able to. It had a lot of hit points. Plus, there's more that could have happened too. But
What?
in any case,
What was the part with the chest burster? Where would that, or the neck burster? Sorry, where would that gone?
I mean, it could have gone in some direction. There's a whole lore in my head. I'm not going to let you know because I might do this again sometime.
All right.
Dude,
Then I know what not to do, so we don't get the spooky gorilla thing.
All right.
Actually, that might be the better alternative. All right.
Thanks for playing, you guys.
Thank you. I have been wanting to try Call of Cthulhu for a while, and it went as
I've
well
heard
as
of
I could
it, but
expect.
It's a fun one.
one.
I went kind of lower on the threat on this one.
That was
last time
lower?
Last time I ran this, there was somebody in the 7-person party who was actually an alien, like, god in disguise.
Is that the Massachusetts guy?
And nobody knew who it was, and then at one point they did everybody. That was fun.
Was that the guy that ate Massachusetts?
Well, they tried to eat everybody, and then somebody tried to summon Azathoth, one of the great old ones, and yeah, it went badly.
Okay.
In any case, thanks for coming, you guys.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll let you all know when we're doing another one.